Hello everyone. In this video, we'll discuss about retention policy or the lifecycle rule for the S3 bucket. And this particular video will help you to configure the retention policy for your contact center call recordings, reportings, and other things which you are saving inside the S3 bucket. It can also be helpful for your different type of logs that you are generating from any EC2 instance and saving inside the S3. And if you want to delete those files after some certain period of time, so that configuration you can do it using this video and configuration. So let's go. So at this time, I have configured a bucket, which is demo bucket for lifecycle. Particularly, it's a normal general purpose bucket. So I have not done any configuration. It's a simple bucket here. And currently, I have a file called version 11.4 Amazon Connect Basic Syllabus PDF file, and which I'm going to delete using the automation, using the lifecycle rule. And because we are already in the version 12 of the Amazon Connect Basic Syllabus, so for that reason I'm deleting it. Now let's go and configure the main thing here. So at first we need to go for the management, and here you can see one option called lifecycle configuration. Okay, so you will get an option called create lifecycle rule. Just select that option, and here you need to give a lifecycle rule name. And after that, it is asking choose a rule scope. So it has two options. One is to limit the scope of this rule using one or more filters, and another one is to apply to all objects in the bucket. Okay, so just keep in mind one thing here. So if you're choosing the second option, it means it will apply to your entire bucket, means all the objects stored inside the bucket, that is going to be deleted, that is going to be moved to different classes. So those things will apply to all objects inside the bucket. But if you choose the first option, limit the scope of this rule using one or more filter, so it means something like it will apply to a specific objects. Okay, so it is something like it can be like tags. If you have configured the tags for your objects or files, that time you can just simply choose the object tags and select the add tag, and you can filter out those specific files or specific objects using the tags. Okay, and we already have discussed about the tags. So just if you don't remember, just go back and check out our module 1 and you can have some idea what exactly tags are. So for now, I do not need this, and even you will get another option called object size. So if you want to delete a minimum object size, that you need to mention here, and also you need to choose the KB, bytes, or megabyte or gigabyte or something. And also you will get option called specify maximum object size. So if you have some requirement like a file have minimum object size is this, I want to delete that. If a file have a maximum object size this, I want to delete that. So those things you can do it using this option. Another option called prefix. This one is very useful when you are going to implement only for a specific folder. So for example, you have some call recording folder, that time you need to choose that prefix here. So we also have discussed about prefix. If you don't remember, just go back and check out our module 1 and you can have some idea how what is prefix and how to configure it. Okay, so prefix is nothing but the folder name. Just you need to put the folder name and the slash, so it will select the exact folder. Okay, and if I choose the apply to all objects, so those options will not reflect here. I just simply need to acknowledge that apply to all objects in the bucket. Okay, so in this case I'm going to choose the apply to all objects in the buckets. Okay, and then we have option called lifecycle rule action. So this is the main option inside the lifecycle rule action. So first one is something transition current version of objects between storage classes. Okay, so it is something like if you choose this option, no, so it will transition the current version of your objects between the storage classes. So if you don't remember what storage classes are, just go back and check out the S3 storage classes session and you can have some idea what is the storage classes and what type of storage classes are there inside the S3. Okay, so if you choose that option, you just need to select this option as well, transition or change for request, and then I acknowledge that this lifecycle rule will incur a transition cost for the request. Okay, so you have to choose this option, and if I scroll down, you can see here it is mentioned like by default objects less than 120 KB will not transition across any storage classes. Just keep in mind, your files should have more than 128 KB. Okay, And then transition current version of objects between storage classes. So here we need to do that configuration. For example, you want to move that file to standard infrequent access. Okay, just choose that class and mention like after 30 days. If you upload the file today, after 30 days it will move to the standard IA. Then again another transition. For example, I want to move to another transition. For example, I want to move to 1 June IA infrequent access after 60 days. Okay, and similarly again I will choose the add transition, and here I need to move that file to dev archive. Okay, after 120 days. So in this way you can configure your transition for the different classes. Okay, and if I scroll down, you can just simply check that diagram, what exactly happening. Day 0, you are uploading the object. Day 30, object will move to standard IA. Day 60, object will move to 1 John IA. And the day 120, object will move to the CR deep archive. Okay, so this is the transition between the different classes. Okay, similarly, the second option is transition non-current version of objects between storage classes. So first one is the current version. So we already have discussed what is version as well, right? So if you don't remember, just go back and check the version session as well. So first option was the current version, means like current version of a file. But in case of the non-current version, it means like the older version of that file, okay, or the objects. So if you choose that option, again you need to acknowledge that. Then here the transition non-current version of the object. So it is pretty similar to the previous one. For example, standard IA after 30 days, and the number of newer version to retain. It's an optional option. So if you want, you can just put like 5 or 10 which version you have, and you can just configure like that. So for now I do not need, so I will just remove it and then add transition. Then again similarly, if I want to deep archive those file after 120 days, okay, so how many versions you want to retain. Okay, so in this way you can configure. Similarly, if I scroll down, you can see the day 0 objects become the non-current, and then day 30 it is all other non-current version move to standard IA. Day 120 all other non-current version move to glacier deep archive. So in this way it is going to be configured. Okay, and if I go back and select the third option, which is expired current version of objects. Okay, so here you can directly configure like after 120 days my objects will be expired. So here it is something day 0 objects uploaded and day 120 objects expire. Okay, then we have another option, permanently delete non-current version of the objects. For example, I will put 120. So it means like after 120 days that objects become non-current. Okay, and the number of newer version to retain. So for example, you want to retain the 5 version of your file, and other than that you want to move to non-current version. Okay, so you can configure like that. Then here you can see the date 0 objects become the non-current, and day 125 newest non-current version are retained, all other non-current version are the permanently deleted. Okay, so in this way also you can configure. Then we have another option, delete expired object delete markers or incomplete multi-part uploads. So once you select that option, you need to choose the delete expired object delete markers. Okay, and the incomplete multi-part upload as well. So for example, you have a very large file and the multi-part upload is incomplete. So that is also you want to delete it. So after 30 days, I want to delete that. Okay, so in this way you can also configure. Okay, so these are the some lifecycle rules that you can configure for your contact center or your any other use cases. So if you want to move those file between different storage classes, then the first two options are very good for you. So make sure that your current version is something that your newer version, and the non-current version is something your older version of the objects. Okay, so when you are configuring those, so make sure that you are choosing the correct option. Okay, and for example, in this case I'm going to choose the expire current version of the objects. So after 120 days I want to expire my objects. Okay, and then I will choose the permanently delete non-current version of the objects. Okay, so first one is the expire current version of the objects, and the second one is the permanently delete non-current version of the objects. So the next option I will choose like after 130 days, and I do not want to retain any version. So here what exactly happening? So current version action is something day 0 objects uploaded and 120 days it will expire. And the non-current version will be like day 0 objects become non-current and all other non-current versions are permanently deleted. Okay, so these are something configuration I want to implement. Okay, so in this way you can configure your call center data and just simply select the create rule. You can see the rule is configured and the status is enabled. So so as per your configuration, your data will expire or deleted. Okay. So I have also created a lambda function. So here it is. So delete old S3 objects. So what exactly I'm doing here? I'm just taking the events from the event bridge and I'm sending that event to the my lambda function, and then my lambda function is checking the data inside the S3 and deleting those objects after a specific time period, or it is just checking the data on daily basis. If there is any data present, it is deleting those data on daily basis. Okay, and if I go to the CloudWatch, you can simply see here. Yesterday, one of the file called version 11.4 Amazon Connect basic syllabus PDF file that was deleted. Okay, so in this way also you can delete your files. Let's discuss this in our next session. So for now, all done. So if you have any question, just let me know. Thank you.